3, 2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East and this is the Standout 7. Welcome to the Standout 7, the Smart 7's weekend edition. We've picked some of our favourite stories for you to catch up on over the weekend. We'll be back Monday with 7 brand new stories. As Comings Not Goings rolls on, Boris twice refused to let his senior scientific advisors answer questions on Cummings' behaviour. Here's Robert Peston making an attempt to get an answer.
I think it's perfectly reasonable to ask Sir Patrick and Chris Whitty whether they fear that compliance with these rules will be reduced as a result of this.
Robert, thanks a lot. And look, I'm just going to repeat the point I've made just now. It is very important that our advisors are protected from being dragged into political controversy. And just to repeat the thing I've been saying in the last few days, we want to get some very clear and simple messages across to the British public. What they want to hear is what we're doing to tackle coronavirus, what the plan is. We've announced a huge amount.
As part of the announcing stuff policy that definitely isn't intended to distract from Durham Dom, Boris is allowing small groups to meet for a Monday. That's 6 people. Essentially, that means that Boy Band 5 could have a reunion, but S Club 7 are out of luck.
I know the toll that lockdown has taken on families and friends who've been unable to see each other. So from Monday, we will allow up to 6 people to meet outside, provided those from different households continue strictly to observe social distancing rules by staying 2 metres apart. At the moment, as you know, people can meet in parks, but not in private gardens. And this was a cautious first step. But we know that there is no difference in the health risk.
Wait, are you saying a garden's like a tiny park? Hey, brilliant. Hey, kids, we've got a park.
6.
Coronavirus continues to spread as case numbers exceed 5.5 million worldwide, and there have now been over 350,000 deaths. There are worrying signs of a new outbreak in South Korea, and Brazil continues to set new records for the number of daily cases. In the UK, the Dominic Cummings Not Going scandal continues to rumble on. Boris is due to appear before the Commons Liaison Committee later to answer questions as more than 35 Tory MPs have called for Durham Dom to do one, and Junior Minister Douglas Ross resigned. Michael Gove drew the ministerial short straw and was sent to speak to Kay Burley yesterday on Sky News, and it went about as well as you might expect.
What is the government advice?
Well, I think that different people will take different steps in order to make sure that their eyesight is properly addressed.
What's the government advice?
Well, we advise people, obviously, to seek medical advice.
So it's not to get in a car and drive half an hour with your 4-year-old strapped in the back.
Star Wars star John Boyega has been busy on his social channels in the last few days. He's rightly furious over the brutal treatment of a black man in Minneapolis called George Floyd. Video emerged of a white police officer kneeling on George's neck, and he then died in custody. There have been huge protests in the city for 2 nights now, and the cop involved had multiple previous complaints about him. John Boyega spoke out about racism and was attacked online for doing so he went live on Instagram and really spoke his mind.
Any racist shit that's straight up block, it's fine, it's ready. Don't need you on my page. And if you're a fan of me and you support my work and you're racist and you're arguing with what I was saying, f*** off. You f***ing dickheads. Yeah? So I straight up like that. That's how it's going to go. And throughout my whole career as an actor, I want to let you guys know this. I'm not the guy. I'm not Hollywood. I never ever left the UK to go and live in LA for over a year. I never did. I'm from London. I'm from here. We have different fucking rules. We're real. We speak truth.
4.
The Bears are back? What? Yes, after last week's candy-stealing bear, they've upped their game. This bear tries to steal a Mercedes in North Carolina.
There was a bear in the car.
Still there?
No, he's right here he's in the driveway.
So the bear got in Lucas's car.
Locked the door?
Bear, go home.
Are you sure you locked the door?
Oh, he's coming back for seconds.
Run down and close your door.
He's inside the tree.
Oh, there he is. Hey! Don't go back to the car.
Don't fuck up the Mercedes. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit! Oh, what the f***? What the f***?
Queen guitarist Brian May made all the papers last week after a gardening accident in which he ripped a muscle in his bottom while weeding. It spawned a million Queen jokes, but it did not amuse our Brian, who popped up on Instagram to explain.
I told you that I had a ripped muscle. Now, that was the way I was diagnosed, and we thought it was like a bizarre gardening accident. I didn't realise that was amusing, really. And I kind of forgotten that anything to do with the bum people find amusing. So I got kind of pissed off with all these, Brian May gets a pain in the bum kind of stuff. But anyway, it turned out to be not really the case. I had an MRI, and yes, I did have a rip in my gluteus maximus.
Long story short, he also had a minor heart attack and had to have stents fitted. But he's okay, and it turns out Fat Bottom Girls was a very serious musical moment. Police in India have arrested a pigeon on suspicion of spying for Pakistan. Huh? The pigeon, which appears to be painted pink, had a ring around its leg with numbers and letters on it. It was captured in Indian-administered Kashmir 2 nights ago. Now, we at the Smart 7 are fortunate enough to have been able to organise an exclusive Skype call with the pigeon, who wants to be known as Peggy. Peggy, what the hell happened? You were trying to organise a coup? Oh, I'm no lawyer, but that's probably not good.
1.
Cuddly Toy by Roachford became iconic as Alan Partridge's theme tune, and Roachford himself turned up to perform it for Gary Barlow's crooner sessions. So the question is, do you want to hear Gary Barlow ruin a classic?
'Cause my only joy is a cuddly toy waiting for me when I get home, yeah. And what I need is a girl like you to call my very own. So you gotta feel me, baby. Feel for me, baby. You really gotta feel me, baby. Feel for me, baby. You gotta feel me, baby. Feel for me, baby. Oh, give me some love. Take it away, girl. Yeah. Come on.
Your fog lamps are on. Your fog lamps are on. There's no fog. There's no fog. No fog.
This has been the Smart 7. Stay safe, stay distant, and please wash those hands. We are on Alexa now. You can enable the Smart 7 and add us as a flash briefing. We're back tomorrow at 7. Please like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Rule of 3.
Where people who make funny stuff
talk about something funny that they love.
Because I remember as a kid thinking that's a really good old-fashioned gag, but it's also nasty.
The actual VHS, this is clearly sufficiently important to me that this went to House Moves as well.
There is that joy and that slight fear as well about who's going to say what.
Everything from Airplane to Bottom.
From When Harry Met Sally to The Muppets.
Trying is good, aiming high is good, being ridiculous and not being afraid of failure is good.
I think that joke is so fucking funny.
Again, I just think this is hysterical. It's beautiful stuff.
Rule of 3 from Great Big Owl.